Okay, so you've got your Santa Cruz Nomad or Girls Nomad, which is a Strega, and this thing was creaking. I tonight took some sweet time and a bunch of grease to figure out what my noise was. So I was sure that everything was here because I just took off my stem not like a month ago, greased everything when I put it back in for the heck of it. So I was pretty sure it wasn't that. All of the creaking was coming from all this here. So first thing I took off the saddle, took off the saddle, cleaned all this stuff, greased everything, still creaking. Then I just took the whole saddle off the frame, greased this tube of the dropper, put it back in, still creaking. Took off this assembly, I removed this link and this washer / bolt and all these ones, cleaned everything, put it back together, still creaks. Finally, what was my creaking was this lower link. So I took off this whole lower link, and you don't have to remove the cranks. You just have to remove the rear wheel. And on this side are the two bolts. Remember, these are just the, whatever they're called, kind of washers. So you take those off, and then there's gonna be two axles in there. And if you just take the rear wheel off, take off the bolt from the rear shock, this will come out from out here. And it just basically took off all the washers, cleaned everything, noise is gone. So I'm pretty adamant about putting grease in this grease port of this lower link, which you gotta take air out of the shock to be able to access it through the bottom. But I've seen a lot of other people have problems with creaking in their Santa Cruzes that are of this year and trying to figure out what to do. So it's good to just have, it's good to have a torque wrench because it's carbon. I feel like we can't just hammer these down like we did our aluminums. And if you go on Santa Cruz's website, you can print out all their technical data on all their frames. And I think pretty much all their frames have almost the same specs for their, torque specs, and they'll tell you, grease, what to do. So just have that information ready, have a torque wrench. I use this marine grease. I mean, whatever, make a huge mess, whatever. If that's how I got my creak out of my 2019 Nomad 4. It was in my lower link, and actually when I had the link off, I tested the bearings. The bearings are really smooth, but when I cleaned off these outer washers and greased them and put it back on, I could feel like it was not smooth. So if I get this creaking again, I may replace just these washers. I have a new Pro Pack, which you can get from the Santa Cruz website, and you can maybe just replace the metal washers on the ends, and that will hopefully make it smoother. But even though this lower link has a grease port, I think it's a good idea if you ever get creaks that's what it is. So yeah, thanks for watching.